Okay, hello again, everybody. This is Tuariki Delamere. This is video number 3 that I prepared for the one-off 2021 resident visa. This one is a detailed analysis of the immigration instructions for those who meet the skilled criteria for the visa, where I go through the actual policy. So let's get started. Oh, by the way, videos 1 is the overview, video 2 and the overview covers character and health. Video 2 covers specific generic requirements as well as those who are well settled. And the 4th one will cover the scarce occupation list for those who qualify under that category. So again, let's get started. Skilled criteria. So immigration instructions, section 6.15.5 A and B lists those criteria. So if you don't meet the well settled, but you may meet the skilled criteria, this is how you do it. First, you must have employment with remuneration of $27 or more per hour. And you must have been on that rate on the 29th of September 2021. Okay. And you must have been working in accordance with the conditions of your visa. So if your visa says you had to be working for ABC Limited in occupation XYZ, you must have been making $27 an hour doing XYZ for ABC. If you're doing ABC for another company, you don't qualify. Or you had made an application, variation of conditions, or request for reconsideration for an eligible visa that was subsequently granted. And you had an offer of employment for $27 an hour as at 29 September 2021. Continuing on with section 6.15.5 C, D, and E. Your employment must be full-time. That means at least on average 30 hours per week over an agreed pay period. So you don't actually have to work 30 hours every week, but it must average out that. And the reason for that is you could have an occupation where the hours are up and down, depending on what you're doing. And healthcare workers in rest homes, for example, can be in that sort of category. Truck drivers could be as well. It must be genuine, employment. And it must be paid by salary or wages or in terms of a contract for services, refer below to D. The contract for services will be considered employment if the applicant has a consistent history of contract work and has a current contract for services. And E, remuneration is calculated in section 6.15.20, which we'll get to in a minute. Now, continue on, subsection C, D, and E. Oh, sorry, we just covered that. Right, and F. Okay, let's have a look at F. And this is very important because a lot of you will be affected by this because of COVID. If you've had a temporary reduction to your pay rate or hours of work due to COVID-19 related disruption to a business activity, for example, you know, if regulations meant your business couldn't be opened, you know, you worked inside a shopping mall and they've been closed by government order, you may qualify for an exemption on hour and pay rates. So it says the disruption directly arises from a government order. But you must be able to demonstrate that you're paid at least $27 per hour prior to the disruption, and any temporary change to pay rate and or hours was agreed in writing by you and by your employer. And you must post the government order disruption, you must have returned back to your normal pay rate and hours of work, or confirm you will be returning. Okay. Now, this is where it's important. It's just going back to looking at that and these criteria. Okay. So that was, so let's move back. The evidence is very important. Okay. You must prove that you've got the pay rate. You must prove that if your pay rate was less because of disruptions, or hours are less because of disruptions, you must provide evidence for that. They're not going to accept your word. They're not going to accept the word of your employer. For example, pay rates, they'll check your bank accounts, they'll check the employer's IR 345s, 348s to make sure that you've been paid properly. Okay. Let's see. So again, it just says you must provide the evidence. Now, an applicant whose remuneration has not previously been assessed or evidence was not previously provided, you will be required to provide that evidence. If you don't provide the evidence, you will be declined. And C, D, and E of section 615.5.1 says, here's some of the stuff you must show. Full bank statement showing salary payment, summary of income details from inland revenue, pay slips. So you'll need to show your own income tax statement. The officer may well ask you to ask your employer to provide the employer's IR 345s, 348s to prove that you're being paid properly. They may well request additional evidence. That shows your current remuneration and that of 29 September. So if your remuneration drops below 27, let's say it was 27 on 29 September, but come your application, you're on phase 2, and on 28th of February 2022, you're not being paid $27 now, you've had a pay reduction, you're going to fail. So that's the skilled criteria. It's not difficult, but you will need to provide evidence that you meet it. They'll probably ask, you should provide your, I believe, your employment agreement, bank statements. Hopefully your employer will show company bank statements, the company income tax records. You must provide the evidence of having got that pay rate. So again, I hope that's useful. If you have any questions, queries, by all means, contact us at TD Immigration. Our office is at 441 Queen Street, Auckland. Currently, Auckland's in lockdown 3, so we're not open to customers. When we do open, you must be double vaccinated to be allowed into our offices. All our staff are double vaccinated. And because we have staff who are susceptible to comorbidities for COVID, we will not allow unvaccinated people into our office. We can still deal with you by Zoom. We can have Zoom meetings if necessary. Queries, by all means, contact me at tuariki.delamere@tdavisa.nz. So again, everybody, stay safe, and yes, let's hope you can all get your visas.